Okay, now we are discussing logging. What is the purpose of logs? Okay, in SQL application there are different types of log, like transactional log, dead deadlock related log, maintaining related logs. Okay, now mostly we are focusing here is transactional related logs only. So transactional related logs. Okay, before that, so SQL server is nothing but it is also a one application. The purpose of this application is to store the data. So SQL server application take the responsibility is to store the data. That's it. But and also it give atomicity and durability. We'll discuss other properties also there, consistency and maintaining integrity of the data. So now we are focusing atomicity and durability. The reason why I am saying is these 2 points, in order to satisfy atomicity and durability, logging must be required. Without logging in database, this database application will not able to provide these two features, atomicity and durability. Okay, let us take with example. So in hard disk we have data either in any format. Now we are not considering the format. The application of the database application responsibility is to store the data in hard disk. Now in hard disk, in data is stored in any format and any structure. Now we have the data which is having is account data, and in account data user A contain 100 rupees and user B having 50 rupees. This is the data which is available in hard disk. Now our requirement is to transfer 25 rupees from user A to user B. This is our requirement. We need to transfer data from user A to user B. In order to satisfy this requirement, what it is doing application, it is doing, number one is fetching data for user A in RAM. Then after it is fetching data for user A as well as user B. Then removing 25 rupees from user A, adding 25 rupees from to user B. Finally above data updating to hard disk. These are the operations which are to be performed by the application in order to transfer data from one user to other user. So let us take, this is a statement 1, this is statement 2, and this is a uploading data to the hard disk. We can say like something commit, and this one is we are not considering, this is just fetching data, not that it is not considered as an impact. So the transaction what we have done, statement 1, statement 2 and commenting. Okay, in statement 1 removing the data from user A, statement 2 updating the data to the user B. Okay, now these two statement data will update in hard disk. Okay, if these two data, instead of two data, only one data is updated in hard disk, during updation of the second data, there will be application crash or someone switch off the application. At that time only one statement will be there. That statement is what it is doing, removing data. Means 25 rupees is removed, but not this statement is updating the data. This statement 2 is not happen. So what you observe, only one statement is updated in hard disk and second statement is not updated, then it is contain inconsistent data. And inconsistent data, but it loses the atomicity. Atomicity is both operation need to be complete, otherwise it contain inconsistent data. So to maintain this atomicity and durability, one concept is, application is doing one concept. What it is doing, it is maintaining one file, let us take, which is helper file in hard disk. This is main file which contain user accounts data in hard disk. Now in RAM, in memory, these two statements happen. Now we need to update in main data, but before updating in main data, we are updating the data in helper data as well as main data. Okay, we are maintaining the data both in helper data and main data. Now statement 1 is there. If statement 1 is updated in helper file and this statement 1 is updated in main file, okay, now suddenly application is crash. By crashing this application, after after recovery after owning means restart the application, it contain main data with statement 1 and helper with statement 1, sorry. So there is a one service is there which is checking both helper file and main file and analysis that statement 1 is present and statement 1 is present. Okay, but in helper there is no commit is there. It is validating main file through the helper file. If helper file doesn't contain commit, then what it is considering that this statement 1 is not a whole statement, it is only some part of transaction, it is not totally committed to the hard disk. So it is thinking that this statement is invalid statement or making the data as a inconsistent. So by seeing this some service is there, updater service something, will remove this statement from the main file. That means main file contain original data whatever available for user A and user B. So due to the crash of the application, there is no loss in data. Okay, this is the one scenario. This scenario proves that by using the helper file you are maintaining the atomicity. So atomicity, you understood that all statements of the particular transaction must be followed. And another scenario another scenario is there. Suppose statement 1 is there and statement 2 is there. Both statement is there. Now it is committing, but it is committed to log file. And committed of the data is there, but nothing is updated in main file. During updation of the main file, application is crashed. Now application is crashed. So whenever after restarting the application, this updater service check in log file and main file. In log file it contains one transaction which is in committed state, but this transaction is not available in main file. So this updater service take the responsibility to transfer the data from log file to the helper file to the main file. Okay, the reason why it is updated first in log file instead of main file, what is the reason? So this thing will explain later, because some way it will found easy to update in hard disk. That is the minimum reason. Instead of to update in hard disk in hard disk of the main file, it faces some difficulty. First it updating this helper file. Okay, so we'll discuss later how to maintain the structure, what is the structure. But we observe that if helper file contain data, we can ensure that durability, we can get the durability in the main file. So finally we can conclude that by using helper file, we guarantee that our data is durable and we give undurable, as well as for this data integrity is there and we can say that our transaction is we can maintain atomicity, we can guarantee the atomicity. These two things will able to give by using the helper file. So now we understood that this application which take the responsibility to store in the data in the hard disk will need one helper file to give the guarantee of the transaction and data in hard disk. This helper file is nothing but log file. Okay, we'll explain later what is the way log file we need to store the data, what are the responsibility to taken by the log file, why from memory it is easy to insert data in log file, what are the difficulties found in inserting the data in main file, and who take the responsibility to transfer the data from log file to the main file. These all things design of the log file and who will clearing the data in the log file, structure of the log file. These all things we'll discuss later.